stories.
What's up guys, it's Frozen. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 just got announced, or at least a new game in the Budokai Tenkaichi series. And today we're going to be talking about 5 things that I want to see from the game below. If there's anything I didn't say, or just something that y'all want to see in the game specifically, leave it in the comment section down below and we can talk about it down there. But without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing that I want in this game is a good, decent sized roster that reminds me of the old Tenkaichi games. At first, when they first announced it, I didn't personally hold out much hope that we would get something like that at release, at least, because, you know, the current state of gaming. But they dropped an official website for the game, if y'all didn't know, and they were pretty much saying how the Tenkaichi series is known for its big roster and special moves that are pretty much one-to-one with the anime. So they at the very least know that they should be giving us a roster comparable to that at launch. Now, will they do that? Nigga, Lord knows. Hopefully, I hope so. But we probably not gonna be getting that. Well, I'm not sure. We'll find out. But that's what I want. I want a roster that at least goes from the start of Z, with hopefully a few Dragon Ball characters thrown in, right? Like they did with Tenkaichi 3, with just a few Dragon Ball characters thrown in, like the important ones like Goku, Roshi, and all that. And then they at least go all the way through Super and GT. But for Super, at least go up to the Broly movie. I would like it if they went to the Beast Gohan, to Dragon Ball Superhero, but I think that may be asking for too much. I'm gonna keep my expectations relatively low. So let's say that they'll go till the end of probably the end of the Tournament of Power, but I want to say based off of that transformation that he used in that little trailer, it was kind of reminiscent of the Broly Super Saiyan Blue transformation. So maybe we'll go up to the Broly movie. That's just my hope. Now when we get that, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's it for the next game. Is something I more so don't want them to do more than I want them to do it. It's CACs, aka CACs, creative characters, whatever you want to call them. Now, not saying that they would necessarily be a bad addition to the game, right? If they were there, it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Like, it wouldn't stop me from buying the game. But, excuse me, I'm a little sick, y'all. 2 reasons I wouldn't want them there. 1, I don't think they know how to balance them. Like, Xenoverse 1 and 2 has proven that they don't really know how to balance CACs in these games. So maybe leave it out of Tenkaichi. Even though Tenkaichi was the start of creating characters, because, you know, also Tenkaichi had hers, but leave it out of Tenkaichi. Leave that to the Xenoverse series. And that goes to my next point. As much of a fan that I am not of the Xenoverse series, I feel like if Tenkaichi 4 is as good as we hope it is, or even half as good as we hope it is, and it also has CACs, then the Xenoverse series is going to be dead, right? Because, like, outside of the core, and even these people wouldn't play it, right? The core Dragon Ball fans who's going to buy every Dragon Ball game no matter what, like, outside of those people, it wouldn't be much of a reason to buy a potential Xenoverse 3 unless they heavily improve it. And even so, I doubt it's going to be better than a fully realized Tenkaichi 4, right? So you just have an inferior version of a game just because of CACs. At least if you don't give them CACs, then Xenoverse would have its own identity and more of a reason to draw people in, right? As comparison, just Tenkaichi 4, where you can just play as the main cast characters. At least Xenoverse will always have that pool of CACs. Never thought I'd be actually helping Xenoverse, but yeah. Anyway, on to the next one. Alright, so there was a game called Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team, right? And it was on the PSP of all things, and it's the only Tenkaichi type game that had 2v2s. So I would love if Tenkaichi 4 or whatever the new Tenkaichi game is called would have that shit on the new game. Please. Please, please, please. Maybe not be the main focus of the game, just have it be a fun side thing that's well balanced and works fine when we get there. But have 1v1 still be the main focus. I cannot believe that we've only had one game in that Tenkaichi series, including Rage and Blast, all that shit, where you can fight with 4 people on the screen at the same time, and it was limited to the PSP. That was that game's only issue, is that it was limited to the fucking PSP. So hopefully we can rectify that situation with this new game. And also, they don't have to limit it to 2v2, but I think 2v2 might be the most optimal for something like that. 3v3s and maybe a free-for-all type thing would work, but I see that being a little bit too chaotic on a game like Tenkaichi. I don't know. I feel like, imagine all 6 of y'all doing super explosive waves or shit, or if it's a 4-person free-for-all, imagine 2 of y'all just spamming super explosive waves or some dumb shit like that. Nah, that wouldn't, I don't know. I think they should limit it to a 2v2 and maybe a 4-person free-for-all. I think that should be the limit for it. And for the next thing, I gotta say this first. I know a lot of y'all who watch me and have been watching me over the last few years know that I'm not the biggest fan of Xenoverse 1 and 2. But Xenoverse 2 specifically did something that was very good, and I think Tenkaichi 4 should at least take it, but make it for all characters. So in Xenoverse 2, there was like this mentor customization system. So for the characters that were your mentors, and I think even for some characters that weren't mentors, you could like take them, customize their gi, give them like default custom stats. Like I think there was like a ki based one, a stamina based one, and then like a melee based one. Do something like that for Tenkaichi 3. Like you can pick any character in the game, customize the color of their gi, give them like alternate costume if you want, and then pick what moves they have, and then pick. Maybe they don't need to take the stat thing from it. Like maybe they don't need to be a key based or melee based or the speed based type thing. Maybe they don't need that. But if they do something like that, make sure it's well balanced. And yeah, just have us like, of course, give us the alternate character slots, like the alternate costumes, shit like that, and then give us our own custom character for each slot, pretty much. And last but not least, I feel like I gotta say this, given the state of the last few Dragon Ball games that dropped outside of Fighters to some extent. But make sure that the game works online the same way outside of, like the usual things when you play on online, like the delay, latency and shit like that. Make sure that things work the exact same way online that they do offline. Please. We don't need another issue like in Xenoverse where certain combos to this day that have not worked online, like the Frieza Ray's full square combo, right? And I think the same for the male Saiyans, it still don't work consistently. That square combo has not worked for them online properly since day 1 of Xenoverse 2, even from the fucking beta. And all the way till 6-7 years later of that game being out, that shit does not work to this day. Make sure that everything in this game works online and give us a solid netcode for the game, please. No broken hitboxes online, no janky moves that only are jank online. Make sure that this shit works. To me, on release, I feel like that's more important than balance. But a game like Tenkaichi 3, which is not a traditional fighting game anyway, the balancing shit can come later. Drop the game the way y'all have it, and then we give our feedback, and then y'all balance it in occurrence to that. That's fine. If something is broken at launch, that's fine. But make sure that everything fucking works online when the game drops. Please, that is all I ask. I just want my game to work. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit upset about that, but there's the last 2 games that were 3D online fighters were Xenoverse 1 and 2, and neither one of those games worked properly online. But Rage and Blast 1 and 2 on Xbox 360 had a way better netcode than any of the Xenoverse games, so maybe we won't have to worry about that here. And so did as long as the development team is the same people who made Jump Force should be the same people who are making my bad, I'm still sick by the way if y'all couldn't tell, but should be the same people who are making Tenkaichi 4. And that game was not great, we all know that, but at least things worked properly online. So yeah. But that's gonna do it for today's video. This was a bit of a shorter one. We'll probably have a more long form video while I get on here and talk about this with my friends. Like I said earlier, leave a like. Not that. But yeah, if y'all do want to leave a like, subscribe, and share if you're new here, that would be much appreciated. But if there's anything that you want to see from the game, leave it in the comment section down below. And then for the next part of this video, we'll talk about what y'all were saying pretty much. I'll go into my thoughts and everything about what y'all were saying. But I've been trying to hold in the cough this whole time, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Bro, I'm gonna fuck with y'all. Y'all be safe out there.